Hey folks, and welcome back to Rattlesnake Acres. So I'm gonna have a little bit of a shorter video for you today. I'm just gonna kind of go over a few things on the mill here, show y'all how a few things work. I've had a few requests for that, but like I said, it's probably not gonna be a very long video, but hopefully it'll be informative if you're putting together a mill, or maybe you're just curious. So without further ado, here we go. All right, guys. So first things first, where does the power come from? So this is what's known as a 540 PTO shaft. It runs off the PTO on a tractor. If you don't know what that is a shaft that comes off the back of the tractor that spins at 540 RPMs. So go right down the drive line. It goes and it feeds the blade, and then this is the blade, of course, and then this is your let's call them inner workings for making your carriage go back and forth. But so what you'll do, you'll have seen it in the videos, I take this lever, I don't know if y'all can see, when I pull back, now let's push forward, it shows you, you can see, so now this belt is tight, and that spins this drum that has a cable going over here to the carriage, and that pulls it back and forth. Alright, follow me so far. Put this back in neutral, and so the blade is, what they do, they call it hammering the blade, which is kind of exactly what it sounds like. But so you hammer the blade. This one is hammered to 540 RPM. So anything above or below that, this blade will wobble a little bit. Once you get to 540, it stands up straight. And you can't see it, but this blade is actually dished. Or no, it's straight right now, but the minute it hits the log, this blade will actually dish this way just ever so slightly into the log. And why it does that is, once you rip your board off and you're bringing that log back through, that blade stands back up and it won't rub against your log. It stays out of it that way. Alright, so what should we cover next? Oh, I know, sawdust. Where does the sawdust go? Whoop. Now, guys, I'm new at using cameras. So here's what we call the sawdust pile. I don't know if you can see this chain. So going back here to our 540 shaft, it turns this belt, which turns this gearbox down here with the chain attached to it. And that chain comes around this way and will carry that sawdust out to the pile that way. And of course you got, I guess you call them conveyor rollers to roll your lumber down if you need to. Elena's strong enough, she normally doesn't need to use that. She just, manhandles it. Or I guess one man handles it. Alright, so now you got, this is what's called the dog. I put that down into the log and it holds it in place. And then I got my scale here. I don't know if you see that little pointer. Right now it's set. So this part of the head block should be 16 inches from the saw blade out here when that log goes through. So you'll have a 16-inch piece on this side. And then of course you go down the line. So what I do, like I said, it's on 16. Let's say I want to go over to 14. I'll grab this lever, which turns this, and there's gears here that push all the head blocks in the same orientation. So if I want to go to 14, I'm going to pull this. Okay, so now we're at 14 inches. And this is actually, it was genius the way they set these up. But I don't know, I guess y'all can kind of see it. So that's 1 3/4 here. I got it set for 1.5 because I was ripping 1.5 inch boards. So what that is, you got this stop here, So every pull, oh, we're at 14. Every pull, that's 1.5 inches. Okay. But you'll notice we're down to 12 1/4. So what that is, guys, 14 minus 12 1/4, that's 1 3/4 inches. You've got to take 1/4 inch off every time that saw blade goes through a log. It takes 1/4 inch. So this automatically figures that out. Feel like I'm forgetting something. I'll walk down here, and you'll notice, so we actually use, it's a little more than 1/4 inch. It's 5/16 tooth. So this tooth, let me get it, is wider than the blade itself, and needs to be sharpened pretty bad, but we'll take care of that later. So this here is called, we call this the guides. All it is 2 wooden dowels, and it keeps that blade from going too far one way or another. Although a properly hammered blade, you really don't even need this if it's properly hammered. But let's talk about these teeth for a minute. Let me set you up on a different angle. Alright, let's talk a little bit about tools. Okay, so these teeth actually roll out. They're completely replaceable. They've got a locking ring on them, and I would take one out, but I need a nail to stick through this to roll that out. So maybe another video will do that. But anyway, what you'll do, you put this in, maybe. So you'll lock it. You put the, we always use just an old nail, put it through there, torque this back, it'll roll that tooth out, and you can replace it. And then let's say, I've never done it personally, but I can remember growing up as a kid, Grandpa, we'd be sawing, and you're going to hit nails and stuff every now and then, folks. It's just going to happen. This is what's called a swedge. You'll put this on the tooth and hit it with a hammer, and it'll reshape that tooth. So if they get out of line, you can just use this, hit it, and it'll put that shape back into it, because this steel is harder than this steel. I really wish I had a way to pull that out so I could show y'all that. Alright guys, let's talk about tools. So growing up, I've never been one much on safety, but the older I get, the more important I realize it is. So hearing protection, guys, if you're gonna run a sawmill, gonna be around one, for the love of God, wear these. I'm 30 years old, and I already have trouble hearing if there's background noise. And you know, according to doctors and stuff, I mean, I haven't personally asked them, but you know, just from what I know, being raised by a nurse and stuff, that's some kind of little hair things in my ears are jacked up. Stink bug. So guys, safety, hearing protection. And I don't always wear them, but you should wear safety glasses. I need to do better. That's enough of the boring tools. Now, we have this. This is called a cantilever. Well, what we call it is a cant hook. And no, it's not because it can't, because it definitely can turn a log. So basically, it hooks in the log. Y'all seen me use this, and it gives you leverage. Cantilever, leverage. So it gives you leverage to turn that log. The average man, I would say, a 20-inch log, that'd be about all he can do to handle one with his bare hands. With this, I can turn a 30-inch cant by myself. Okay, and then, as always, we got our axe. I probably normally cut this part out of the videos a lot, just because I don't want to bore y'all. But a lot of times I'll chop mud and stuff off the logs with an axe, just to keep my teeth from getting so dull so fast. But Like I said, I probably cut that out a lot, so you may not have seen that. Because like I said, I try to make these videos to where they're entertaining and easy to watch. And if it's something I think that will bore y'all, I normally cut it out. So let me know in the comments if you want me to quit doing that. I don't have all my tools over here. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So this is our wrench for taking the saw blade off. So if I've got to take it off and take it to have it hammered, this is very important. There's just a big nut on the back side of the saw blade. I'll show y'all that. And it spins off and you take your blade off. Pretty cut and dry, simple. And then, of course, guys, grease is a lot cheaper than steel. So make sure you keep things greased. Honestly, I probably don't hit them all. I try, but grease is your friend. Use it. Okay. And then I guess this is the last thing I got to show y'all. It's an old squirty oil can. Just used regular motor oil, and I use that to grease the head blocks and stuff, keep them good and lubed up. It's been around for years. Grandpa had it. Now I've got it. But guys, I really don't know what else to show you. Yes, I do. I can show you how I trip the carriage. And if my grandpa comes back here, he's going to think I'm crazy. He's going to think I'm talking to myself. He doesn't know I'm talking to you fine folks. All right, so we've established we're at 12 1/4. So let's say I got another log coming. I need to move this back. There's a foot trip. You notice when I do that, it moves that. So when I push down on it, it allows that carriage to move back. And it needs some oil. It's a little sticky. But not sure what else to show y'all. Show y'all that nut I was talking about. It's got a collar on it too. So you take this nut off, take that collar off, and this blade has actually got 2 dowel pins in it from the husk. I don't know if I already told y'all, the husk is all this that the blade rides on. But, well, folks, that's all I've got for today. I hope you learned something. I hope it was enjoyable. If not, you're probably not watching right now. But anyway, guys, that's how this all works here. And I absolutely love running this old saw. There's nothing like taking a bunch of steel from 1950 and putting it to work. But anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all watching. If you don't mind, like, subscribe. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Just come back to see us here in Rattlesnake Acres. Thank you.